Hey, World Entertainment, and as you can see, there is now mass confusion about this whole Tom Hardy MobLand situation. Apparently he hasn't been fired, and as you can see it says, yet. There is discussions happening, there are actual problems behind the scenes, so a lot of what was said before is true. But now they're kind of having discussions apparently about his behaviour and trying to get him back on board kind of thing. It's interesting. So this headline, as you can see, says Tom Hardy hasn't been fired yet, but insiders believe he's committing career suicide. But then there's another headline that we'll be looking at where it's saying he's actually in talks to return, which is interesting. You're not fired, but then there's conversations for your return. It's weird. It's very messy what's happening with this. But apparently he is being a complete and utter dick on the set of this, at least for season 2. I haven't heard anything, and there's nothing in any of these articles about him being a problem in season 1. But season 2 seems to be where he's having issues. And this isn't the first time now that the kind of conversation around his attitude and being difficult to work with has arisen, which some of that is even in these articles. And yeah, it looks like he is incredibly difficult to work with. So let's have a look at this part anyway first. So as you can see, the headline there, he hasn't been fired yet, and yada yada yada. So it says, following reports that Venom star Tom Hardy has been fired from Paramount Plus's MobLand, the Hollywood Reporter has shared additional insight. That includes confirmation that the actor's fate is yet to be decided. As previously reported, Hardy did indeed clash with producers on the series, including executive producer Jez Butterworth and others at David Glasser's 101 Studios. While MobLand Season 3 is tentatively scheduled to begin production in the UK this September, it hasn't been greenlit yet, and that may be at least part of why there's tension between the two sides. Now, just before I go on, that is the one thing I brought up in the first report about Tom Hardy being fired from this, was they were talking about Season 3, and there was no information about MobLand getting a Season 3. So it was kind of weird and confusing. It was like, but hang on, Paramount hasn't said anything about a Season 3 as of yet. In fact, they took their time to even announce a Season 2. So it was strange to hear them saying he's been fired from Season 3. And now it's confirmed, like, Season 3 hasn't even been greenlit. So that makes this even more confusing. So it continues anyway, saying, as for Hardy's on-set behaviour, one source says he refused to come out of his trailer for hours at a time. He kept the cast waiting, which is a power play. Keeping Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren and others waiting is career suicide, I would wager. Now, we've heard issues that he was late to set and stuff. This is the first time we've heard that. Part of that may be the fact that he was refusing to come out of his trailer. So, like, you do force your hand in saying, oh, well, I'm not coming out, blah, 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 because you're going to make, particularly other actors, never mind directors and producers and stuff, you're going to make other actors say, like, I don't want to work with this guy anymore, you know. And if you get bigger names, and let's face it here, the likes of Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren are bigger names than Tom Hardy. Yes, Tom Hardy absolutely has a massive name and does carry this show, but Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren arguably are bigger names, and if the likes of them were to turn around and say, you know what, either he's gone or we're gone, yeah, I think you forced the studio's hand into going, Tom, good luck in your future endeavours. But it says, the actor who plays Harry D'Souza in MobLand has a reputation for being hard to work with, following well-publicised clashes with Charlize Theron on the set of Mad Max Fury Road. Sir Patrick Stewart has also addressed Hardy's habit of keeping himself to himself on set after they co-starred in Star Trek Nemesis. A previous Puck News report alleged that Hardy tried to alter dialogue and gave script notes to Butterworth and MobLand creator Ronan Bennett. Those specific claims remain unverified. Now, the biggest one out of that part that was well documented was the Charlize Theron and the Mad Max situation. I can't quite remember, but it was that the two of them, and only from what it was said, the two of them butted heads, that they just did not get on at all. That she was just as much of a problem as he was, and it is known that she is a bit of a stuck-up cow. The Patrick Stewart one is interesting because the Patrick Stewart one, he was trying to guide Tom Hardy on the set, and even Tom Hardy says, like, getting to be there with Patrick Stewart was great, like learning from some of the best and stuff. But the funny thing is, and Patrick Stewart has said this publicly, that after they finished filming and Tom Hardy's last day on set of Nemesis, where he left, apparently Patrick Stewart turned around to Brent Spiner and said, "We'll probably never see that guy again." Because his attitude and stuff, they were like, this guy has no future. And Patrick Stewart has says he's glad he's been proven wrong about that he's glad Tom Hardy has actually made it and made a name for himself. But you don't want that reputation as this dude is difficult to work with. And if you start pulling this shit, like, this is a paying job. It's a guaranteed job. Like, that's the one thing you have to keep in mind. I always get confused when an actor joins a TV series or something and the show keeps getting renewed and they quit. Now, I get that they want to pursue other things, but it's a guaranteed job. It's a guaranteed income. And you're, like, pissing it away. And how many times have we seen people in TV shows do that, where they're like, I'm gonna try and do bigger and better things, I don't need this show anymore, and they leave, and it fails, it blows up in their face, they end up being nobodies. It's like, do you really want to take that risk? And if you're pissing off people like Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren, yeah, you're not gonna be doing yourself any favors. But then we get this headline saying Tom Hardy in talks to return to MobLand after fan backlash. Now, it doesn't really bring up anything about the fans, but as you can see, it says Tom Hardy may not be done with MobLand after all, as a new report says the actor was not fired and discussions are now underway for his possible return. Now again, that's where it's confusing. He hasn't been fired, but then why is there conversations for his possible return? You know what I mean? That doesn't really make sense. So the update comes after a week of reports claiming Hardy was out of the hit Paramount Plus crime series following behind-the-scenes clashes with producers. Now, a new report says that Hardy was not fired, the door is still open for season 3, and things are being worked through creatively. It's a major shift from after previous reports made it sound like Paramount and producers were already preparing to move ahead without him. So, it is this very strange thing of what is actually happening with this show and with Tom Hardy behind the scenes. Like, is he out? Are they even actually doing season 3? What is happening? It's like, it's so messy right now, this situation. The one thing that is absolutely 100% accurate by the looks of things is he's got a horrible attitude on the set. You know, delaying production by showing up incredibly late, apparently, refusing to come out of his trailers, trying to change the dialogue, handing in notes, just being an awkward bastard around the producers and stuff. It really is this thing of, dude, you know, you're pushing your luck here. Like, show me a movie that Tom Hardy's in where he's putting asses in seats. Like, realistically. Yeah, the Venom movies did okay. They just about broke even, most of them. Don't think the third one did. I'm not sure. I can't remember the numbers on that one. But, you know, they weren't these massive hits. And everybody running around going, oh my god, Tom Hardy is fantastic. We need more Venom and stuff. No, they did mildly okay. And the issue is, every time he's put in a movie, like, he's not bringing in big numbers. And After seeing all this stuff, it makes me wonder, is that why Taboo never came back? Was it the case that the BBC were like, this dude isn't worth the headache of making this show? Maybe that's why Taboo never returned. So it's a messy situation. It's a confusing situation. Again, like, he's in talks to return, but he hasn't been fired. Why would he be in talks to return? It's weird. What is clear though, he's a pain in the ass, and they are trying to work things out by the looks of it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, and we'll keep you up to date if more updates come true about this. But what do you think about the whole situation? Do you think MobLand could survive without him? Or do you think maybe they should just pull the plug on MobLand altogether if they can't sort things out with him? Let me know what you think. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like and share and subscribe and hit that hype button and check out memberships and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.